Hey up people, how you all doing? I hope you're good. I hope you're having a lovely day. Right, I've got Wolter's World. You guys seem to enjoy him. I do as well. So I'm back with Tennessee, the do's and don'ts of... No, it doesn't say the do's and don'ts. It says the don'ts of visiting Tennessee. Yeah, I'm already subscribed. I'll give it a like. Well, let's see what we can't do there. Tennessee. Oh, I love the view already. The little hills, mountain, whatever you see in the background there. Lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Hey there, fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolter's World. Hey there, fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolter's World, and today we're on Nickajack Lake here in Tennessee. And today what we have for you... Hey there, fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolter's World, and today we're on Nickajack Lake here in Tennessee.
Nickajack.
And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the state of Tennessee. And my first don't for you is if you're going to be coming to Tennessee, especially in the fall, and it gets gorgeous with all the leaves changing, it is phenomenally gorgeous. But I got to tell you, in the fall, don't confuse the locals with construction workers, especially on Saturdays, because that is when the volunteers are playing. The Vols, the University of Tennessee football team, they love them here. Like, they are psychotic fans. I know, here, you know.
I'm really confused. I've got to rewind that. Don't confuse the locals with construction workers.
Saturdays, because that is when the volunteers are playing. The Vols, the University of Tennessee football team, they love them here. Like, they are psychotic fans. I know, here, you know, in the SEC, everyone loves their local state team, but Tennessee takes it kind of to the next level when it comes to the Vols, okay? So if you hear a few rousing renditions of Rocky Top, just know it's okay. It's not the construction workers, that's just the locals singing and dancing and enjoying themselves in all the orange glory that they are. Now, my second don't for you has to deal with Jack Daniels. And for those of you who don't know, Lynchburg, Tennessee is where Jack Daniels, the whiskey, you know, is actually made. The distillery is here in Tennessee. But my don't for you when it comes to Jack Daniels and other alcoholic beverages is don't expect you'll be able to enjoy, or I should say, don't expect you'll be able to buy alcohol all over the state, because there's a number of counties that are dry counties in Tennessee where you can't buy alcohol. Now, you can
Oh, I didn't know you did it from county to county as well. I thought some states were dry, or not dry, that's the wrong thing to say. Some states ordered to get alcohol, you had to go to another state or something. No, that makes it a dry state. I didn't know it was county to county though.
Have alcohol, so maybe you want alcohol all over the state, because there's a number of counties that are dry counties in Tennessee where you can't buy alcohol.
When he says a dry county, does that mean that you just can't buy the alcohol? Because I have watched a couple of YouTubers, American YouTubers, that say they have to drive into the next town, they said, to get alcohol. Can you bring it back to your county, or is that illegal?
Alcohol. Now, you can have alcohol, so maybe you want to bring it with you, but you can't buy it. So if you're going to be planning your vacation, check beforehand to see what you need to do and what you should bring, just in case. And going along with that Jack Daniels don't, another don't I have for you is, don't think it's just Jack Daniels. There are a number of smaller distilleries throughout the state, so you can enjoy a tipple of whiskey from many different distilleries throughout the state, okay? Now, my next don't for you is, don't think that Tennessee is the same throughout the state. Now, if you're going to be out on the east side where the Great Smoky Mountains are, you know, Appalachian area, you can go there with Pigeon Forge and Knoxville and go to Gatlinburg and go out Dollywood and hike in the Great Smoky Mountains and do the natural waterfalls and the caving.
In Dollywood, Dolly Parton's theme park in it, I'm sure it is.
All this kind of stuff. It's gorgeous. Forge and Knoxville and go to Gatlinburg and go out Dollywood and hike in the Great Smoky Mountains and do the natural waterfalls and the caving and all this kind of stuff. It's gorgeous, but that's the east side. You have that, but then in the center, you can have the plains where Nashville are, where it's pretty flat, and then you go to the west by the Mississippi River and Memphis. It's very much three very distinct regions of the state. So remember those 3 stars on the flag, 3 different regions, and you can have a different vacation in each one of those. And I say you can have a good vacation in each of those different regions because my next don't for you is, don't think it'll be quick going from one side of Tennessee to the other. If you're going to go from Memphis, which is on the Mississippi River on the very west,
I don't think I'd ever think you'd get from one side to anywhere in America particularly quick. It's a massive place.
West, and you're going to go all the way over to Pigeon Forge and go have some good times there on the Smoky Mountains, you're looking at a 7-hour drive. I mean, going from east to west or west to east when it comes to
That's tip to tip. I think it's an 8-hour drive. I might be wrong. I think it's like an 8-hour drive from Land's End to John O'Groats, tip to tip in the UK.
Tennessee. I mean, it took us longer to drive through the state than it was to go across Nebraska.
That's why an hour's drive feels like a long time for us over. It's mental. But I do go with the time thing, opposed to how many miles away it is. Yeah, a lot of people, it's like, oh, I'm not driving such and such, it's 70 miles or whatever. They'll say it in the miles. And in my head, it's like, well, that's an hour and a half tops. Do you know what I mean? You'll be there in an hour and a half.
Smoky Mountains, you're looking at a 7-hour drive. I mean, going from east to west or west to east when it comes to Tennessee, I mean, it took us longer to drive through the state than it was to go across Nebraska, all right? Now, if you're going north-south, it's not too bad, but just don't think it's going to be a quick drive across Tennessee. So another thing I'll say about driving, if you're going to be driving the Great Smoky Mountains in the eastern part of the state, you do have some windy roads when you want to go and see some of the caves, you want to go see the natural waterfalls, the natural water slides, this kind of stuff. I will say is don't just take pictures while you're driving. They have a lot of pull-offs. So to go to the pull-off, take the pictures, take the videos, go do a hike. You can do that when you're there. So don't feel you have to be driving and worried about the driving and taking pictures. No. There's plenty of spots for you to get off the road and enjoy the nature when you're here. Because honestly, Tennessee is gorgeous. And the thing is, it's not...
what flag was that outside the church?
Driving and worried about the driving and taking pictures. No. There's plenty of spots for you to get off the road and enjoy the nature when you're here. Because honestly...
What flag's that? It looks like that flag. St. George's to me. It's probably not. It looks like it to me though.
Tennessee is gorgeous. And the thing is, it's not just outdoor beautiful lakes like this. You have caves. I mean, there's over 9,000 caves that you can go and explore. You want to go to Ruby Falls? Chattanooga, just right down the way. You go to Ruby Falls, which is a waterfall inside a cave. Yeah, it is gorgeous when you are here. So get out. Don't
see, for me, that's 100% the sort of things that I want to go and see. Don't get me wrong, as some people have said in the comments as well. Yeah, obviously people want to see the Statue of Liberty, take pictures and that, but you really want to get into where people live and the actual natural stuff. And for me, it is all the natural stuff and the people themselves. So yeah, absolutely would love to see that.
Don't forget to bring some good hiking shoes so you can go out and enjoy the nature in the state, especially on the eastern side, because you're really going to miss a lot if you don't do that. Now, another thing I think you should know is when you come to Tennessee, don't forget there's actually 2 time zones in Tennessee. So if you're at Knoxville or Chattanooga on the eastern side of the state.
See that? 2 time zones in one place. That's crazy. Absolutely mental.
That's Eastern time zone. But if you're going to be in Nashville or Memphis, that's Central time zone. So maybe that's why the people drive so crazy, because I think the next note I have for you is don't freak out about the driving when you are in Tennessee, because the locals, they're like NASCAR.
Right, there's got to be someone out there that does work or did work at one side and live at the other, so you go through the damn time zone. That must mess with your bloody brain, that. Having to go to work back and forth. Did you have to wear 2 watches or something? I don't know. That's crazy.
Drivers just go. And they go so fast. And wherever they go in the U.S., they're driving super fast. Except when they park in the left lane and go like 65 in the left-hand lane. Because for some reason, people in Tennessee love left lane driving. So just pack your patience when you're driving through Tennessee, because there are a lot of spots where you have a lot of...
Left lane would be the fast lane for you guys, wouldn't it? Would it? Yeah. I'm sure it would.
Traffic and the hills and stuff, so it can be a bit much, but just know
that looks beautiful.
Don't get too upset with the local drivers, and I think that leads into something I really need to tell you about when we look at Nashville, and that is don't rip all of your hair out when you hit Nashville and their horrible traffic. Look, Nashville has grown by leaps and bounds the last 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, it's incredible the growth it's had, but the infrastructure hasn't really kept up with it. So when you're taking I-24 and you're coming down, going through, do expect to have some backups. And if you're going through downtown, you're like, oh, this isn't too bad. Just wait. Eventually when you get to the past the downtown area, things go back into like a 4-lane highway, and you're like, whoa, shouldn't this be 6 or 8 lanes still? No, and so the traffic will really get you. And downtown Nashville, where they have 1 lane.
What's that? Looks like some sort of Roman, I want to say temple, I don't know. That looks crazy. What is it? Has you got a building behind these pillars, or is it all open? What is that? I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments. Thank you. You're great in the comments.
Roads can be a bit frustrating. So if you're going to be staying in Nashville, ask your hotel.
I keep asking questions because I like reading the comments, but if I let it play and it don't answer me within...
What's the best way for you to drive in to get to the parking? Now, when you're talking about Nashville, there's a couple other things I really need to make sure you know. Is one, don't mess around with Nashville hot chicken. Now, look, what I like to tell people is Nashville hot chicken isn't just kind of like chicken thrown with some Tabasco sauce on it. No, it's not buffalo wings. Okay, what it is, it's fried chicken, really good, and then they have the mix and the cayenne pepper that's in there and everything. It's really hot. Like, it is like, ho, and it has some kick, okay?
I did read in the comments as well on the Jolly video I did yesterday that Josh and Ollie both seemed genuinely like the mouth was burning with the hot chips that they was eating. But yeah, every time that I've had hot crisps chips here, they even had flaming hot Cheetos for a bit here. I hadn't seen them for years, and they weren't even particularly hot. And someone in the comments says, yeah, if an American says it's particularly hot, then it is. So I'm really interested in trying. I don't know why, out of all the things, once I get there to an airport, right at that side, I want to go for some hot crisps over there, see if they are genuinely hot, 'cause as I said, they're not here.
Okay, so don't think it's going to be some easy, Popeye spicy chicken sandwich, I like that, it's going to be easy. Oh, no. Nashville hot is next level up. And if you go to Hattie B's or any place that has Nashville hot chicken, get it. It is phenomenal. And another thing I want to talk about when it comes to Nashville, because I have more videos on Nashville, you can check those out, but I really think you should know is don't think Nashville is just country music. Now, I know, you know the Grand Ole Opry was...
Oh, wow. That building in the background there looks like Optimus Prime and Batman. What building's that? What does it say at the top of it? AT&T. Is that a phone or a mobile network or something in it? AT&T? Internet or something? I don't know, but I love the building. That's crazy. It genuinely looks like Batman and Optimus Prime mixed together.
There, and the Country Music Hall of Fame is there. And we think videos on Nashville, you can check those out, but I really think you should know is don't think Nashville is just country music. Now, I know, you know the Grand Ole Opry was there, and the Country Music Hall of Fame is there, and we think this is all country stuff, and you go down Broadway with all the musicians playing, you think, I hear a lot of country music here, it must be a big country place. Well, yes, Nashville's big for country music, but it's not just country music, okay? Nashville's kind of become a hub for a lot of...
I have to be honest, I do think of Nashville, Tennessee, of country music.
People from around the U.S. moving to the Mid-South. And it's really more of a hipster haven than it is a country music kind of core anymore, okay? So it's definitely a different vibe than you're expecting when you come to Nashville, all right? Now, since I'm talking about the cities, I got a couple...
Your hipsters might be different to our hipsters.
Things I want to talk about with Memphis, and we have done some Shocks and Memphis videos too you can check out. But if you're going to be in Memphis, you're going to be on Beale Street, and you'll see the guys and the kids doing the backflips and the jumps and stuff like that. If you're taking their video, if you're taking their picture, don't forget to tip them, okay? That's how they're making their living. That's how they're making money. So don't forget to tip them when they do that. Now, another don't I have for you when you're going to Memphis, because, that's where Graceland is, where Elvis lived, right? And don't die of sticker shock when you go to Graceland, because, wow, the whole Graceland experience can be incredibly expensive for your wallet, especially if you're taking a family there. But if you are an Elvis fan, it is well worth it, okay? Because it is a whole complex. Because you have Graceland itself, but then there's across the street from Graceland, I mean, you can tour the house, right? But then across the...
I think if I got there, right, I'd try and take a sneaky peek, but I don't think I'd be interested in going in. I get that he's one of, if not the greatest musical artist of all time. I don't know, and it makes sense to visit the place for a lot of money. You got to capitalise on it, haven't you? And I'm guessing his family are capitalising on it. I hope they are anyway.
They have like all of his cars and all this other memorabilia from him. It is really cool, but my goodness, the sticker shock when you're there, it's bad. Now, another don't I think I should relate to Memphis is...
When he said sticker shock there, does he mean sticker as in price tag? In context, I feel as though that's what he meant.
Don't think that Tennessee barbecue is just dry rub ribs. Now, don't get me wrong, Memphis and dry rub ribs from the Rendezvous, fantastic. But you can have a lot more than just dry rub ribs when you're in Tennessee or in Memphis. The wet barbecue, I like Central Barbecue in Memphis when I'm there, but anywhere you go throughout the state, you have that Memphis sweet sauce. Oh yeah, you can have that, but you can have wonderful barbecue throughout the state. So don't think it's just dry.
See, that looked like macaroni and cheese to me. Mac and cheese there, was it?
Sweet sauce. Oh yeah, you can have that.
That's something I want to try as well, proper mac and cheese. Because every time I've tried it, I don't like it. But I don't know why, because I do I used to love spaghetti bolognese back in the day with loads of cheese on it. Cheese on anything's nice. But yeah, I want to try the proper stuff because it looks better. Every time I've had it, it's sloppy or runny. It always looks a lot drier and more baked every time I've seen the American stuff.
But you can have wonderful barbecue throughout the state, so don't think it's just dry rub ribs. There's a lot more to it. But I think the biggest don't I have for you when you're going to Memphis is don't skip out on the National Civil Rights Museum. Honestly, one of the most moving museums in the U.S. When you go there, you learn about the history of the Civil Rights Movement. It's actually in the old hotel where Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. I mean, I still get goosebumps just thinking about going there. Go. You will learn so much, and it will change you, okay? So if you're in Memphis, you have to go there. I know people think, Beale Street, we're going to party. Yeah, party. But first, go to the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis. It is unbelievable. Now, another popular area where people go is by Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, you know, the Smoky Mountains where there's Dollywood and all this kind of stuff. And it is really...
Again, this looks like it's... I can't think of another word other than infested with bears. Again, that's something that my English brain can't comprehend, the idea that all the creatures you've got out there that want to, not necessarily want to eat you, but could eat you. But as someone said in comments before, when I've said that before, I was in the national parks, I was like, oh God, it looks beautiful, but I'd be terrified being there. It looks as though there'd be so many bears. People are like, no, that's why we go. I get that, but again, my British brain, I think the most dangerous thing we have here is... well, we have a venomous snake, but I don't think everyone ever gets bit by it. We have an adder, but I never hear of anyone getting bit by it. I've never heard of anyone actually ever seen one apart from people from the 70s, but they might have died out. But other than that, I think badgers and foxes are our scariest animals. But yeah, that looks as though there's a lot of bears.
A fun place to be. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know about Pigeon Forge or they don't really think much about it. What you have to realize is that is a super popular place for people from Tennessee and this part of the U.S. to go on vacation. So if you're looking to go to Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg in that area, don't forget to book your accommodation ahead of time. I mean, if you're looking in the high summer months, you know, book that in the spring or the winter just to make sure you get some good spots if you want to get a rental, if you want to get a hotel or a resort kind of stuff, because they do book out, okay? When you are there, don't you dare diss Dolly, okay? Dolly Parton is a national treasure. She's from here in Tennessee, and honestly, she won't say anything bad about you because she's too awesome for that. But don't think the locals won't give you a little backhand if you say something bad about Dolly, all right? Because she is amazing. All the stuff...
See, I think everyone over here, I can't say everyone, but I do. Everyone seems to like her. Every time she's been on any sort of talk show or anything over here, everyone seems to love her. She's funny as well. I'm saying I ain't heard anything of her. She's still alive, isn't she? Jesus Christ, I don't know. She is, I'm sure she is. I don't know.
She does in the community around the state. It's just she's a fantastic woman. So go to Dollywood, listen to her music, and just like all of her like stuff she talks about, she's so great. And she's honestly, I guess yes, there's Jack Daniels and Dolly Parton, the two greatest things that have come out of Tennessee. Now, another thing I want to talk about, because now that I'm looking,
I love Dolly Parton's sense of humor as well. I do. What is it that it costs a lot of money to look this cheap and stuff like that she says. Absolutely amazing one. But let me know in the comments. I'll probably Google it straight away afterwards. I've not heard of her passing on. I don't think she has. Jesus Christ.
Looking around, I remembered those natural waterfalls and the natural water slides. When you're going hiking, if you're going to be by rivers or streams, don't try to do the natural water slides right after it rains because there'll be a rush of water, so it can be a little dangerous. We were here a few years ago and Jocelyn and Caleb were going up and Jocelyn walked out to go down and then the water rushed through and actually swept her down. There was lifeguards, okay, so they helped her out, but swept her down. Okay. Luckily somebody had grabbed Caleb, I mean, it can get a little dangerous, so do pay attention when you are going to be doing some of the outdoor stuff. And the thing is don't think you're always going to get cell service when you're in the Smoky Mountains. I mean, it's gorgeous when you're driving through, but remember, hills and valleys and stuff, cell signal doesn't always go through. So if you're hiking, let people know where you're going to go. Now, another don't I have for you is don't pass up the festivals and live music here in Tennessee. Look, I've been coming to Memphis in May for decades, okay? The best man at my wedding, he actually lives in Memphis. We've been coming down here for years. And the whole month of May, Memphis has barbecue fest, and it's got music and bands playing, but there's all kinds of great things throughout the state. You got Bonnaroo, which is a big, huge music festival.
It does look as though it's proper lively there. It does look good.
And, art and music festival. It's more like party time festival, but there's a lot of festivals and fairs and things that go on in Tennessee, especially during the summer. So if you can go, but even if you can't get to a festival, go listen to live music, whether it is on Broadway,
100%.
when you're in Nashville or Beale Street, when you're in Memphis or other places around which will have live music. Tennessee is actually one of those states that really is good for music lovers, just because there's a lot of history of it here, and it's actually played lots of places. And then I want to finish off.
See, for me, I am watching him speak and stuff like that, but me, I've just been watching every last little bit of all the scenery in the background. For me, I just want to, if I was to drive somewhere, I'd be pulling up all the time everywhere that looked interesting or nice and be like a little child running around, climbing trees and stuff. I would. I'm telling you. See, it's not the big cities or anything like that I really want to be. Of course, I want to see the famous stuff, but again, I want to see the other stuff that most people don't go abroad for.
With this one, don't overlook the hospitality and friendliness of the locals here in Tennessee. Look, you're going to get fed when you're here, and you're going to get fed a lot and fed some more when you're here. Don't say no. Be like, yes, I understand that belts have more holes that I can go the other direction in because the food is so good here and there's so much of it. But the hospitality and the kindness of the people here in Tennessee make it a wonderful place to be. That's why you're seeing tons and tons of people actually moving to Tennessee. I mean, no state income tax probably helps as well. But honestly, you really want to think about it and be like, wow, these people are really, really nice. And don't take that nicety and that accent as people aren't intelligent here. Don't discount them just because someone might have an accent or they're overly friendly to you, because they're just good people when you are here. So that bless your heart, a lot of times actually means it in the good way when you are here, all right? And so I hope this helps you know a bit more about some of the don'ts you should know before you do come here to Tennessee. If it is winter and there's any hint of snow, don't go out, don't drive, don't do anything. Stores will be bought out, just stay home. Because it's not that they don't know how to drive in snow, it's just
snow in Tennessee. I didn't think there'd ever be snow down that part of America. Obviously there is. Again, I'm here going to be learning lots of new stuff on this channel. But that really did surprise me. Someone showed me this shot here or something. I don't know where I'd have thought it was. I can't even think of anywhere snowy now. But I wouldn't have thought Tennessee was like this, snowy.
There's not infrastructure for snow removal here in Tennessee, or at least in most parts of the state. So just a heads up for that. I mean, not really an issue right now when I'm here, but something to think about. So I hope this helps you enjoy more of Tennessee. You want to learn more? We've got videos on Nashville, we got videos on Memphis and other surrounding states as well. So
sure we'll
have a great time, and I'll say bye from here in Tennessee.
Absolutely brilliant. But again, I always hear the friendliness of the south of the USA. But yeah, no, the people offering you stuff, I don't know whether it's just me or all Brits or whatever, but don't like taking stuff when it's being offered. That might just be me thing, but again, I want to try everything when I get there. But yeah, see this, it's on the screen now. I'm looking forward to doing this. I might do this later or tomorrow. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed that, give us a thumbs up and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, bye-bye.